Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Critically Casual. I'm your host, Srekcuf, and you think you can go get Dev for me? Awesome. Cool. So, while that's happening, hi everybody. Like I said, I'm Srekcuffs. I'm your host, and well, I don't know where to do. I don't. Oh, there he is.
God fucking damn it, dude.
Hi, Dev.
Hi.
You
Sorry, new roommate.
Okay. Is he normally in your office?
I told him not to be.
Okay. Well, this is Dev. He's my normal host of Critically Casual.
What up?
Eh, nice coffee. Or is that hot cocoa?
How's coffee?
Oh, damn.
It's just good to be the king, dude.
I do like that mug. I couldn't see that it
I
said king, but
Yeah, it's just king. Hold on, let me get it up a little bit closer.
there we go. I see it now.
I'll hold it precariously over my keyboard like an idiot.
Oh, that's real. I haven't done something like that before, no.
Did you lose one from it?
I lost an Xbox from spilling a tequila into it. Yeah, it was when I was playing a game with you.
Yeah, I know. We were playing. Wasn't it Hunting Sasquatch or
The one
something
before
like
that, the Bigfoot.
Oh, Bigfoot. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
So yeah, hi everybody. It's Critic for Casual time. Anything else we want to say before we get talking about these movies?
No,
No. All right.
no. Let's just
Let's just
go
talk
into
about
this.
it.
Yeah, let's. I think it's best to just kind of rip the band-aid off.
Hmm.
I need music in the background. I'm gonna lose my fucking brain. Hold on a
No
second.
worries.
I don't have that
So,
going.
this week I have called this week Zombie Halloween because I'm so clever and original. I have the best titles always. Um, because we're covering Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. Halloween 1 made in 2007 and Halloween 2 made in 2009. Yeah, let's just get into this. Let's start talking. Let's drop everything and just start talking about Rob Zombie's 2007 version of Halloween.
This movie's not good.
That's one way to put it.
So I'm gonna explain why. In my opinion, it's not good.
Go for
Okay,
it. I'm gonna eat some pizza.
that's fair. So my big thing of having the heart of the original,
Yes.
right? That's kind of my thing. Like I love it when something like is an adaptation of something but keeps the heart of the original in there, you know?
Mhm.
It makes things better. Um this doesn't have that. This doesn't have that in spades. Like
You
the
mean?
entire first half hour of this movie, the first quarter of this movie might as well be a different movie.
I agree with you. The first quarter of the movie is what? It's the intro to who Michael Myers is.
Which also brings up my first error.
Ooh.
Which I took notes on this.
I didn't. I knew what I
Um,
wanted to say.
so during the night of the incident in the movie,
Mhm.
the night would have been 1975,
Mhm.
Halloween.
Oh, you figured out age?
Well, yeah, it says 15 years later, and the
Mhm.
movie takes place in 1990.
Mhm.
The rest of the movie,
Mhm.
a song that a lot of people know called "Don't Fear the Reaper" was playing. Now, I love this song, "Don't Fear the Reaper." It's in Supernatural. It was on my greatest rocks hit album. Without looking it up,
Mhm.
Steven,
I'm not looking it up.
what year did Don't Fear the Reaper come out?
Well, if I had to guess, because I'm not really good with music, I would say probably like 94. And he just gets
No, it's a classic rock, so not that late. Came out in 76.
Okay. So the year after the big incident.
Yes.
Okay.
Which wouldn't bother me as much if it wasn't Don't Fear the Fucking Reaper. A song everyone knows. Exactly. Like, I say the name and you already have it in your head.
Yep, I know that song.
Everyone knows this fucking song. Don't fuck it up. Put it in the right ear. You could find something else. I don't know. Yeah, this was obviously directed by Rob Zombie. Came out August 31st of 2007. With a budget of $15 million, US opening at 26 million, US gross at 58 million, and worldwide at 80 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it made its money back, but did it deserve a sequel?
I mean, we'll talk about that when we get to the sequel.
Fair.
Especially when we get to the sequel, because that's a whole other beast in itself. Like, I got some things to say about that movie.
Well, we both have things to say about that.
But
there's a lot to say about that one.
This movie, I'll be honest, I actually kind of liked that it wasn't just straight into old adult Michael Myers and all that stuff. I actually kind of liked the story and the exposition that they gave beforehand. It made it, and because it wasn't just one of those like brief, oh, he did this, and that's why he's this way. Like, because it actually took its time and explained everything, I'm okay with it for the most part.
Well, my problem with it is that it takes forever. Okay.
I mean, this whole movie takes forever if you really want to get into it.
Because of this first half hour, the first quarter of the movie being this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have our first. I talked about it a couple weeks back when we did Parasite and One Shot of the Dead, where you now have to reestablish characters, who your actual character is going to be, right? This should have been stuff that, personal opinion, this should have been stuff that Loomis talks about more.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe talks over flashbacks. So A, it's shorter. B, we get introduced to Laurie at the beginning instead of a family that's not going to play a role the rest of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of them are in the 1990 part of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what happened.
Well, I'll get to the body count in a bit. And on the topic of Loomis and Laurie,
mm-hmm.
they don't feel anything like the characters they are being. If that makes sense. Like from what the original have. Like they're not the same characters. Laurie Strode in this is not Laurie Strode.
I could kind of understand that. Especially, like, I also want you to, if you look at IMDb, like, you would think Laurie Strode is the main character of this movie, right?
Yes, I mean, she should be towards the top.
See, I don't know where she shows up.
She's under Patty Frost.
Patty Frost. Oh, there we no. See, under Patty Frost, I have Stan Payne. Oh, there.
Oh, well, right
there
under Stan Payne.
Yeah. Laurie Strode.
I wasn't gonna say Stan Payne because it wasn't blue, so it was just easier to point that out, I guess.
I said Stan Payne.
Whatever.
Because it wasn't blue and easier to point.
Whatever. Shut up. Loomis is the top. I think they went off of top billing.
Yeah, it's probably first scene, probably.
Well, Loomis isn't in the first scene.
Is he not? No, that's true.
Mikey's in the first scene, right? No, the mom is.
Yeah, it says in credits order. So this is how they showed the credits in the movie.
They probably went off of top billing then.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm McDowell, probably the most expensive person in the movie. Just based off of his filmography, alone. I mean, he was in Star Trek Generations, amongst other things, around this time.
He's Malcolm McDowell.
So, like, probably went off of top billing.
Sorry, I just went into his IMDb
stuff.
and there's like
No, you're
8
good.
projects that he's working on.
But like, Laurie does not feel like Laurie in this. Loomis doesn't feel like Loomis in this. Loomis is supposed to be like a very concerned psychiatrist who understands how dangerous Michael is and is more concerned for the safety of others because of him.
Hmm?
This Loomis doesn't really seem that way.
I was about to say, this Loomis, sure, he's concerned, but why is he concerned, really? We don't really get to... Go ahead.
It feel like from the one scene that we get of him talking to the other, the people at the facility,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like he's more concerned about his reputation
Mm-hmm.
than he is the people. And he has some concern for people. I'm not saying he's completely soulless. It's just we don't understand him, and it like gets worse as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like there are scenes that are just ripped out of the other version that don't have the context or the feeling of the other one.
Okay. Because I, like, the way I see it is, I almost feel like Loomis is doing this in this movie because he cares more for Michael than he cares for anybody else. But he only really cares...
Yeah, I see that too.
But I don't really see him caring for Michael because he's like, man, I care about you. It's because he cares more about his reputation.
Yes.
Because
the entire first half hour is him going like, I feel like a failure because I can't help you.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you're my only friend, Michael. Like,
yeah.
What does that say about my disastrous life?
And then, like, after the first, we don't get introduced to Laurie until we get to 1990 after the first half hour, and it's like 5 minutes after that we get introduced to Laurie, and she's not like Laurie from the
No, I was just sorry. Give me 1 second, Dev. You can keep talking.
No, you're good. She's definitely not like Laurie from the first movie, because she grabs a bagel. This is your first. The Scream Queen.
Could you say that one more time? Sorry. This is
our first scene that we were introduced to our Scream Queen. Okay. our main source of being connected to in this film. Right? And what's the first thing she does when she comes on screen? She grabs a fucking bagel, starts fingering it.
Sounds like 80s slashers to me. I'm just kidding.
But it's not. It's so 2000s. Also, no one looks like they're in the fucking 1990s. In the year 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Like it says. You want to know why? Also, Loomis has a fucking flip phone in 1990. Here's my second air of the movie. You want to know when the flip phone came out?
2000?
Mid 90s. This is early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a really small nitpick, but me and Rach were watching this because I was doing a movie night. So she was hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I didn't say anything. I think Rach went, is that a flip phone? I'm like, okay, so I'm not crazy? Why does he have a fucking flip phone?
Mm-hmm.
It's not time for that yet. So I went and looked. I Googled first flip phone.
Yeah, but it felt old for the 2000s.
That's my problem. Like, it felt like the early 2000s, this movie.
Okay.
It didn't feel like 15 years later, like it said. This was early 2000s.
It was 20 years later.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like, this movie feels like it was like a late 2000s movie trying to be the early 2000s, because that's what everyone thinks that the 1990s is now.
Okay.
But you're going to the early 1990s, which is going to feel more like a breed between the 80s and the 90s, because it's the year 1990.
When I think the 90s, I think Power Rangers. Like,
yeah, you think cartoons, you think goofy toys, you think
I think I specifically think of like the style that they wore when they're in their civilian clothing in their stuff,
right?
Like, and how everything looked when they're at their like martial arts place. Yeah,
a lot of cutoffs.
Mm-hmm. But that's not
the
what we
way
got.
Lori talked in this movie too. Like I was talking to Rach about it. Steven, you and I are not female.
Nope.
Rach is,
Mhm.
and I like. She's like, who talks like this? And I'm like, okay, so this is horribly inaccurate. She's like, yeah, for high schoolers, yeah, like maybe with friends now, maybe I talk a little bit like this,
Mhm.
but this is just bad. Also, they start fucking like acting like fucking whores as high schoolers to adult men, and they want it, and I hate it. It's just wrong.
No,
This movie is wrong.
that was
on
one of the
so
things I
many-
wanted to talk about too. Is that I feel like Rob Zombie just wanted an excuse to show as many young tits as he could, like because
You bring me up to my next segment.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish this.
I was about to say every single female woman except Lori on screen, well, except the mom as well, had their bare breasts exposed in this. And part of the
Every young woman.
yes, and part of the problem I have with that is how old are they supposed to be? Like, if they're all
supposed to be last year of high school.
okay, because
Which also doesn't make sense.
Yes.
If it's been 15 years later.
yes, exactly. Because how old's the baby in that first scene? We don't know. So if it's 15 years later, that baby has to be at least 3.
Yeah.
For it to be the last year.
Unless she's graduating early, in
Mhm.
which case, by the way, that ruins the next movie because she's also still going to be fucking underage in the next movie
Mhm.
because it takes place 2 years later.
Mhm.
This movie, I didn't even realize that until we talked about it. Holy shit, that's a huge plot hole. That's a horrible plot hole if you're going to have a sequel. Oh my God. Okay, so on to the segment. Okay.
You're like, oh my God, you're over. Hang on, let me focus.
Let me focus for a second. All right. So last night during this movie, I did a tally count of kills. Okay. I believe, let me tally real quick.
And the reason why he did this is we kind of talked about kill count in Freddy vs. Jason.
Last week, yes.
Mhm.
Would you like to guess how many kills Mikey has in this movie?
Oh, yeah, I didn't keep track. So I'm going to guess, without doing
Perfect.
really good math, 9.
You are exactly half.
Okay.
Do you want to guess how many boobies there are in this movie?
Quick question. Do they count as pairs or individuals?
Pairs. And only the same person.
Sorry.
So you can't so if it's the same person, don't count them twice. Even if it's a different scene. This ain't what is it?
I can't count lefty and then righty? Damn.
No, fuck off. There are 3. So this movie has a 1-to-6 body to boobie ratio.
Mhm.
Okay? That's going to be important going into the next one because the ratio's fucked in the next one
Mm.
and it shows the quality of movie.
Okay.
This is important.
I like how you did your own version of math.
Listen,
this is dev
movie
statistics. You had to do something to entertain
I
yourself.
had to do something to entertain myself. This movie fucking sucks. It's a horrible adaptation. It's too fucking long. It doesn't have the heart. None of the characters feel like they actually belong in this movie. No one makes sense. Like, horror movies have tropes of people not actually making sense, but this movie makes that look good.
No, yeah, this movie does a lot of, like, it says gratuitous things just to be gratuitous. It has lots of nudity just because it can. The tension is non-existent. Like, if I had to,
Oh my God.
if I had
It's
to explain an emotion I felt, the only thing I felt watching this movie was dread, only because I was thinking about my next day of work. I was like, man, I have to wake up soon, and I'm still watching this movie.
Well, the other thing too is, like, speaking of tension, you know what thing this movie, or the original version of Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th,
Mm-hmm.
and Nightmare on Elm Street all have
What's that?
in spades and really good tension building music.
Mm-hmm.
This movie misuses the Halloween theme every chance it gets, except for one time. And by that time, it's already like we're close to the last half hour of the movie, which I was really pissed because I was like, oh man, wow, that last like hour went by really fast. And I scrolled over. I'm like,
No, yeah.
there's still a fucking half
That was one thing I wanted to talk about too. The ending that feels like it's just thrown in there. Like you feel like you hit an ending, and then it's like, oh, here's another 30 minutes.
Because they wanted to combine 2 movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways, and we'll get into that more. They don't do everything from it, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's one time, and it's towards like the last, I'd say last third of the movie, where they use the music correctly. But by that time, you've had 2/3 of movie using music incorrectly, where it's not building tension, where it's just there because it's recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work. That'd be like you're watching a Friday the 13th movie, and all of a sudden during this scene, let's say there's 2 people talking about the Friday 13th movie killer on a podcast, and all of a sudden you hear as they're talking here, "Ch, ch, ch, ah, ah, ah." But you want to know what's going on? Nothing. There's nothing freaky going on. He just said the Friday the 13th killer, and then the music played. There's moments like that in this where all of a sudden, didn't, on the piano starts playing. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why are you using this music? Because this is also coming from me who plays Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I hear that music, my brain goes, oh shit, this is bad. This is bad. Because Mikey's in that game and he fucks shit up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you hear that music, you're tense. This movie doesn't let it be tense. I don't know. That pissed me off too. Sorry. The music pissed me off.
I understand it though. And then one thing I want to talk about is hiccup. Sorry, one more hiccup.
You're good.
Ugh. Okay. All right. The last thing I wanted to talk about, honestly, was their overuse of a jump scare. It's literally all that there was in this movie. Was every single moment there was the setup, the misdirection, and then the jump scare.
Some of those pissed me off the most because none of them worked on me the entire movie,
Mm-hmm.
except for one, and it was bullshit. The dad. Where he's standing on the porch,
Mm-hmm.
looks out, looks back, and then did it.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. I jumped because it was just big, large moving object and damn it at the same time, which is loud equals scary, which is boring as shit.
Mm-hmm. Like, this movie does a lot of things, but I would say none of them very well.
No.
And, like, I can't even talk about, like, cinematography or anything, because it all seemed normal and average to me. Like, in fact, I actually want to complain about his use of a close-up. He does a lot, like, anytime he does a close-up, it's always a cowboy close-up, where it's, like, not even the full face, it's just, like, a slim up of the face. It's always handheld and shaky, and it's only when the male wants to be the alpha male, and he's like, oh, you want to stand in front of me, person wearing a mask who's taller and bigger than me? Ha, you look like a buttercup.
Oh,
And
God,
that's
that whole thing's
yeah, it's just these characters are all bad. They're all terribly made characters. The dialogue is gratuitous just to be gratuitous and nasty. Because, like, when is it okay to just say you're gonna beat your wife because she's not listening to you? And, like, when is it okay to make fun of a person in a wheelchair? And, like, and their inability to punish me, daddy. Oh. Like, and then the booby counter. Like, this is just Rob Zombie taking this franchise and just being like, I'm gonna zombie it up a little bit. I'd say rob it up, but that doesn't sound as good.
No, he robbed it up. He robbed it of its heart, soul, and stuff that people loved.
So-
Like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that Metacritic gives it a 47
Mhm.
is too high to me.
IMDb gives it like a 6 out of 10.
6.1 out of 10.
Mhm.
How? What? Who is giving this out of the 100,000 reviews, close to 108,000 reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Enough of them gave it high enough scores to give it a 6.1.
See, I want to read some of these reviews, but I can't.
Oh, don't you have to be
Yeah. But I can see the percentages. 10% of the people who watched this movie on IMDb gave it a 10 out of 10.
That was 10,000 people who gave this at least a 10.
No, yeah, looking like, did you read the comments? On the watched this for free on YouTube. This was nice. This week was a free week because we could find both of these movies for free on YouTube, which is against the law, by the way. I wouldn't recommend watching this that way.
No, we did not watch it that way. Shut up. We're cutting that part.
But I don't know where I was going with. Thank God it was free.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
But no, the comments on that video were like, "Man, this is my favorite scary horror film ever," and it's because it's not even scary or a horror film for that matter. It's a gore film for sure.
Yeah, no, it's gory.
So
not good.
Plus, there's a lot of young women boobs, so I guess that's what makes it good.
So bad, dude.
So, Dev, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm giving you popcorns, man. I don't feel like there's much else we need to say about this movie. And this is something else.
Much. For this one, oh, I don't know. A 4? I think a 4.
4? Okay.
4.
I'm doing a 4.5.
Which rounds it up to a 4.5.
This movie exists. It's fine. I've seen this a good handful of times. At least twice. Maybe 3 times.
I don't know if I would ever watch this again. In the sense of, actually watching it. Mm-hmm. Maybe on the background, if I'm hanging out with friends or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, hey, it's Halloween. Let's throw a movie on. Oh, here's this. Yeah, I could see that. But outside of that, I don't think I will ever seek out to watch this version again. Mm-hmm. Unless for some reason we do a talk over for these two. That's the only other outside of watching it as background.
Let's say the only other reason I see us watching any of these again is because we want to re-review 10 years later and see how our tastes have gone.
I feel like these movies would be rated worse.
Probably, yeah. All right, Dev, it's been 15 years of us doing Critically Casual. Let's rewatch some of the movies from our first year.
Yikes. I'm going to go get some more coffee real quick so you can pull us into the next movie.
All right.
Whatever setup you got.
Yeah, no worries. I got you. So this setup that I'll totally do on my own is where I'll totally pretend that there's an ad segment. Wow, I couldn't say anything. And this is where I'd be talking about your ad segment. So if you ever want an ad in a podcast, we're here for you. But go on in. Let's start talking about Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 released August 28th everywhere in 2009. Dev will have the stats for it in a second, so we'll talk about that in a moment. Excuse me. But all I have to say about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is if you thought Halloween 1 was bad and didn't follow the spirit and the mood and the emotions of Halloween, then you're absolutely going to hate Halloween 2. Because Rob Zombie just takes this thing and he's like, you see that burning bush? Let's drive that over a cliff into a train wreck and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
bad. So this movie starts out with an error, by the way, right away.
Immediately.
Me and Rach, yes, immediately. Me and Rach were watching. She only hung out for the beginning of this. Mm-hmm. So me and her saw Laurie Strode walk up, right, on the road. And at the end of the last one, her face is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Her face isn't fucked up at the beginning of this.
No, it's just covered in blood.
And then it gets fucked up again somehow.
Yeah, and then immediately it goes into them like re-putting her back together. But you could cut the first 20 minutes out of this movie. None of it matters. I mean,
we won't. Can we explain that during spoilers? 'Cause
yes.
That is what I have an entire segment for spoilers, and that is that.
Yeah,
That
like,
starts with that.
Basically, that's like, don't get me wrong, that is 100% something we will talk about in spoilers. But the first 20 minutes of this movie are absolutely pointless. Like, at least in the last movie, the first 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, were explaining Michael Myers and his backstory. But
yeah,
this movie
it had something.
Yeah, this movie, this first 20 minutes is a dream, kind of, or maybe, we don't know. And so it's ultimately pointless. All it tells us is the mental space that Laurie is in. And they could have done that, and even if they wanted to drag it out, 5 minutes. But they did it in 20. So let's cut that 20 minutes out. Let's pretend. I'm just kidding. And
well, we might as well, because I took those bodies off.
Oh, did you?
By the way,
okay.
Because they weren't real.
Yeah. So
there was like 5 kills that would have counted, and then it does that.
Mhm.
So
retally.
Okay, yeah, I'm just doing my quick recount. I'm just making sure my brain had remember correctly.
Mhm.
How many kills would you guess, excluding those, do you think Mikey had?
Well, the last movie he had 18, and this movie's worse. I'm gonna say 9.
You are 3/4 of the way there.
God damn it! I keep just guessing 9.
It's close.
Ah.
So he had 12 kills in this.
Okay.
Do you want to know the booby count?
Last movie was 3. So I'm gonna guess 6.
Less.
Oh.
4. But that's still a 1 to 3 body to booby count.
1 to 3
Which
compared to
shows
2
that
to
this
3.
movie, well, the last one was 1 to 6.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
They took away kills because the first ones are in a dream. They do not count.
Nope.
And added a boob, which makes this whole thing moot point, because it's just like, okay, your movie's just less quality at this point. It's a 1 to 3 ratio.
And then the whole thing that bugs me is like Michael's driving force in this movie. Especially because, like, what the hell even? Like, I don't even know what's happening, honestly. Like, Michael Myers is dead at the start of this movie, right? Like,
maybe
the coroner has been there. Police are all around him. He's in a vehicle. He's dead, supposedly. But then he's not.
He's Superman. He's Superman from Death of Superman comics.
I just literally thought he was Jason Voorhees. I was like, what happened here?
Dude, that is one of my notes. It's under the fuck section. Where is it? When the fuck did he become Jason?
So yeah, he was shot in the head supposedly, but we never see it.
Well, we can
It's
intrude because of the mask.
Yeah.
Like, we can get that point because it's ripped where it would have been shot.
Yeah, like it's inferred to, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
But either way, his driving factor is a vision, and I won't get into the specifics of the vision until spoilers, but he has a vision, and it constantly keeps popping up. And the weird thing about it is Laurie also has this vision, but a different, but the same. And it's strange, but it's not real, but it kind of is, according to the movie, but it's not real. And same thing with the scares. They're all just terrible jump scares. They're not really planned out.
Some of them don't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
How someone got from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm. And like, this movie just literally Rob Zombie just took the property and he's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want. Like, he kind of did that originally, but he really took it another level with this one. Like, I can't.
That's a good way of putting it.
I don't even know, like, things I want to talk about specifically other than the 20-minute intro and maybe the ending. Because the ending.
Dude, the ending pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
The end of this movie is so fucking annoying. I hate it.
Just this movie isn't what
Isn't good.
No.
I would have rather watched Freddy vs. Jason again.
Ooh.
Because at least up to a certain point, that movie's fun. And because it knows it's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is taking itself so fucking seriously. Also, how many fucking times are we going to see Michael Myers' face in this movie?
We saw it a lot more than I thought we were going to see it. And his face isn't the scary part. The thing that bugs me, especially too, is now, like, I don't remember the mask being Michael Myers, like being the murderer, but that's what it's become in this movie, where he's just your normal average person until he puts on the mask, and then he'll kill you once he puts on the mask. But like,
Oh, he kills people without the mask too.
I guess.
It doesn't matter. My problem with it is it does the problem of showing the scary monster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but when you show the scary monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does take away from the scariness of the monster because the unknown is terrifying to people.
Yes.
What's under the mask of Michael Myers is terrifying to people.
Especially in this hulking behemoth of a man.
Yeah. This movie shows you his face almost fucking constantly to the point where even the mask in this one is so ripped up, you pretty much see his entire fucking face the entire fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
And then that too. And then we, like, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And then I also want to move on to just motivations for characters again.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Because our main characters are Michael and Laurie.
Yes.
Where Laurie's whole thing is she's battling being crazy.
Yes.
And that's about it.
Yes.
Michael is crazy in trying to catch Laurie. And
Yes.
then our third character is Loomis. And Loomis is famous?
Loomis is trying to chase money, much like this movie tried to do back in August 2018 August 28th of 2009. God damn it. That was such a good fucking segue.
You almost had it.
I almost fucking had it, and then I fucked up the fucking date. Damn it. Anyways, with a budget of 15 million again, only made 16 million US opening, with 33 million US gross and 39 million worldwide. Made a lot less money.
Mm-hmm.
Made half the money the other one made on the same budget.
Mm-hmm. But I do have to question you. Like, you know how in Stephen King movies, there's always a novelist who doesn't like his endings. Do you feel like, I kind of feel like Loomis in this movie was supposed to be our surrogate Rob Zombie.
Who's like, I don't know, maybe. My problem with this fucker in this movie is that it doesn't feel like Loomis. Loomis cared in the OG.
Mm-hmm. And then this one,
Loomis doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Like, this Loomis only cares about himself and getting money. But whenever you ask him about it, he's like, oh, I always care. I don't care about money. I feel so bad about the families. But then immediately
immediately it's like, oh, it's all about, I'm selling the sizzle, not the steak.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
And everyone around him is just like, this is fucked up. You're selling people's deaths, their whole lives.
Not only that, and we'll get into it more, because if you know Halloween, it's not really much of a spoiler, but in the OGs, Laurie was related to Michael. He's selling that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that should be revealed that way. That's such a dumb reveal.
I feel like it's also kind of revealed in the first movie, though. I mean, it's definitely revealed in the first movie,
but not to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point that I'm getting at. And the way it gets revealed to her because of Loomis is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's just annoying.
I agree with you. And I'm trying to think about other things to talk about too, but I genuinely can't think of anything else in this movie that caught my attention. Like, I remember the intro, I remember the end, I remember Laurie and Loomis and Michael, and I remember the visions. Is there anything else in this movie? Because I genuinely can't remember right now.
No, there's not much else to this movie that makes any sense for being in it. At least that's how I'd put it, at least.
Okay.
Nothing else in this movie needed to be in this movie. If that makes sense.
It does.
I don't know, dude. It's not great. Don't put yourself through it. You've got better things you can do with your time. Straight up.
Sorry, I just read through a list of IMDb's Halloween movies rated from best to worst. And the thing that just threw me off here was number 2. Their number 2 best Halloween movie is Halloween H2O. Number 1 being Halloween original 1978 version.
Wait, do they have the 2018 on the list? How wasn't that number 2? That one's not bad.
No, they do not have the 2018 one on.
Okay, that better be number 2 on the list when they come up with the next one.
Yeah, the very worst Halloween movie they say is Halloween Resurrection, made in 2002.
I think that's another one where they do stupid shit too. So I don't doubt it. I don't know, man. This movie just fucking sucks. Like, don't waste your time with it. There's better things to do with your life and your time. Like, that's the best way to put it.
So, popcorns?
Yeah, I'll give you popcorns.
Which is kind of silly. You think about it, we talk 30 minutes on Halloween and 15 minutes on Halloween 2.
Oh, we got more to say.
I know, there's spoilers.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. So, for Halloween 2, I'm going to give this movie... God, this is hard. Because I would normally give it like a 3 3/4. But I'm going to round down this time. Say 3.5.
I'm giving it a 2.
Okay. That puts it right next to Dragon Ball Evolutions.
It really does. It's real close there, bud. It's real close. This pendulum is heading closer and closer back to Death Note.
I know. I'm like, we're hitting some real lows for you this year. I know 2020 sucked and all, but come on.
We started out great, Steven. I was rating things like 5s and up. I didn't have a lowest score until Mummy at a 3.
Ugh.
That was my lowest score up until March, like the first week of March. And then we went through like an entire month of Lord of the Rings, which was all right. Ended out, We did Star Wars Day. We had a Harrison Ford month. We had a Shia LaBeouf month. We had our first adaptation month, which was great. Most of a robots month, which was entertaining. Then last month was all over the fucking place. Dragon Ball Evolution was in there, which was the closest the pendulum swung back to you know what? I can't even give this a 2. Like, thinking about it, I think I'd rather watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious.
No, I understand. I probably would watch Dragon Ball Evolution again too. Over this.
But I think this is a better made movie.
That I also agree with.
But it's a worse movie from an entertainment standpoint because it's just bad. And it's not bad in the entertaining bad way like Dragon Ball Evolution can be. This was just bad. I think
1.5.
I think I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
All right.
I don't think it's under, like, they are equally bad in their own ways. Which puts us at a 2.5.
Do I need to make a graphic at the end of the year which rates all of our movies? Like, ranks them?
We should have the top 10 and the top 10 worst and best movies of the year.
Our 10 best, and that's the last show we put on. A review of the year.
I'm cool with it.
We'll figure that out later. All right. So let's move on to spoilers. Can you hit the spoiler button?
Let's get ready to spoiler!
Oh boy, where to begin? Oh, you want to know where to begin?
Where's that?
I'm gonna give up my notes.
Please do.
Okay, the fuckism segment of my thing. This goes in order of movie, okay?
Okay.
And we can dissect each one of these as we go along, okay?
Okay.
Is this White Horse Ghost sorry, the fuck is this white? Because some of these start with the fuck. The fuck is this White Horse Ghost Mama shit? Question mark. Because it's what starts up. Which, by the way, this is after Mikey gets in a car accident because there's a cow in the road of the mortician's driving. Which, by the way, that cow fucking flies.
No, yeah. So that's something I wanted to talk about. We have the giant van with 3 people in it, and it hits a cow.
Oh, it's got more than 3. It's got I think it's
at least 3 important people.
It's 4 bodies, 2 drivers.
So it hits this cow, and the van comes to a complete halt. The cow goes flying, and it's mutilated. That's not how physics works, but whatever.
No, it pissed me the fuck off. The van just stops.
Yeah, the only reason.
How fucking fat is that cow?
Yeah, the only reason it would stop is if the cow and the van weighed the exact same, or pretty close to it.
Well, no, because then you'd also have to account for the fact that it has acceleration behind it because it's got a like.
No, I mean it's the transfer of momentum. So if the cow's standing still and the van hits it, then the van will stop and the cow will keep going at that momentum until it stops.
That's not how it works because of friction, because of how we know reality works.
But after this horrendous car crash, where I think there's something wrong with the guy in the passenger seat, we don't know.
He got fucked up in it.
Yeah, well, like he's hit, he's spitting out blood. All we ever see is a close up of his face, and it looks.
Was that real? Was that body real? Did he kill? Does that count as a kill?
You know, that's a good question. I think it's real. I think it has to be real because there's no.
How don't they think Mikey's alive? Or like, how don't they think he's alive if there's a driver with a slit throat?
He's missing his head. He literally had his head sawn off. If you remember. Yeah. And they're like, Michael Miles disappeared. Nah, he's dead. I mean, which makes sense. He was shot in the head. So it makes sense that.
But if his body is missing and a dude doesn't have his head, I'm sorry, I'm pointing fingers.
No, yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah. So, that happens. But yeah, that's part of my question is he survives a horrendous car crash where one, we don't even get to see the guy who actually survived the car crash. Like it makes me feel like he's impaled, but we never get to see the part of him that's impaled. So it's like, I can't move. I'm in a lot of pain, whatever. And then Michael gets out of the back of the vehicle totally fine. Like nothing happened. Decapitates the man and sees the white horse with his mom. And is that the younger version of him?
That keeps showing up. Yes, the younger version that they changed actors in this movie for because probably the other kid,
Grew up.
Mm-hmm. But my problem is these two kids look nothing alike.
No, yeah, that caught me off guard. The second kid is a lot skinnier, a lot smaller in physique, and like he has more defined features. Where
he looks older too.
Yeah, the kid in the first movie, like he's rounder, but he looks angrier, and like
he looks like what the adult Michael Myers actor looks like.
I mean, honestly, the first young Michael Myers that we saw in the first movie reminded me a lot of. You're gonna know who I'm talking about when I say this. Reminded me of Sunshine's brother, his younger brother.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
But
yeah, but I just, dude, like that whole start. This movie starts out with this, and it just goes dumb after this.
Yeah.
Because you want to know? Do you want to know what my next the fuckism is?
Yeah, hit me with the next the fuckism.
The fuck. It's a fucking dream.
Yeah. So it was.
Sorry, I should read it how I put it.
Okay.
The fuck. It's a fucking dream.
So yeah, it's after the first 5 minutes of the van or what happens first? Is it the dream sequence? No, the cow happens first. Yeah. So after the cow and the mom happens, the ghostly mom vision. Is the therapist before or after this?
After.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, it's hard to remember the movie. She goes through and she has a dream sequence about waking up in the hospital, seeing her best friend that survived as well. Annie. And, well, maybe not her best friend, but still her friend. That also survived. And while they're in the hospital, I think it's literally like a day or two later, supposedly, Michael shows up and starts wreaking havoc. He kills the nurses. He kills a security guard. He goes to kill Lori, and then she wakes up in bed. So, like we said, that first 20 minutes... Well, I mean, technically, I'll say 15 if we count the van scene. But that 15 minutes is completely pointless. It is only there to try and get us, the audience, into the movie. Because it's supposed to be one of these action scenes. But you know what I did when I watched this part of the movie? I literally paused it and walked away. Because I was like, I just got done watching a 2-hour-long movie where the last hour is nonstop screaming. And now the first 20 minutes of this movie is nonstop screaming. I need some ibuprofen. Like, I need something that's not just a shrill scream in the back of my head. So I had to stop and step away. But then I found out that it was a dream sequence. And then I had to step away again to go drown myself in alcohol. Like, it was annoying. It's literally, if you're going to have a dream sequence, make it short. Like, you can have a dream sequence. I don't mind there being a dream sequence, honestly. They tell a lot about a character and their mentality and what's going on. But 15 fucking minutes for something that is a scare that doesn't matter because we get all of this development anyways later on in the movie?
Oh, it's so bad. So we go from this to some psychiatrist stuff, this and that, to me going, when the fuck did Mikey become Jason? Because we suddenly get him we find out, like, there's a big gap in between, like, Because Loomis is like, he's not fucking alive,
Mhm.
you idiots. But then we see Mikey walking into a shack. And he goes in there, and there's Mama talking to him. And he's got little Mikey in front of him. And they're talking to each other. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
This is some Friday the 13th shit.
yes and no and yes. I was just really confused because in his vision he sees little him and his mom. So supposedly little him, the young version of him, is dead. However, it's little him that's always talking to mom when it's like, I need you to do this for me. Okay, mommy.
Well, I'd say it's the form of him that shows the connection to mother still.
Mm-hmm.
Is what's left of his innocence. But his innocence is corrupt by all the slaughter and mayhem and destruction in his life. So it's a corrupted form of that motherly bond that a mother and son are supposed to have.
You were trying. I was sitting here. I was like, this would make a great GIF. You just going. Yeah. Yeah, like you looked genuine. You're like, how do I BS this? It was good. I like it. You just wrote a freshman year film analysis. Good job.
Art is up. Hold on. Art is for those who interpret it, not for the creators.
Ah, death of the author type. I see.
I am a straight up Death of the Author fan. I mean, it's honestly, there's a crossroads between the two. There's what the author intends, but also what you get from it is gonna. If it's different, that's what you get from it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
The author exists for a reason.
No, I agree with you. Like, it works. It exists for a reason. It's understandable. Like, I mean, hey, if we wanted to talk about the Confederate flag, there's a death of the author type situation right there. One that's very blatant and poignant, and
yeah.
So, next the fuckism though.
Yes, next the fuckism. The fuck is this ghost pumpkin court bullshit?
I don't remember
We get this scene once. Okay, it's shortly after the Mama Jason bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Young Mikey and Mama go to the table where Lori's on the table.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of pumpkin-headed people.
Oh, is this one of her hallucinations again, or
one of his?
One of his,
but it waked her up.
That's right. That's right. Because she has they're connected for some reason.
Doesn't make fucking sense at all. And then I say, where the fuck is his mask? Because no, Lori the killer dream, where she kills her friend Annie in the way that Mikey killed the stepdad. In the first one, where the fuck is his mask? Because he keeps killing people without his mask.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had killed the Truck family with his mask on, and then at the next set of kills we get from him, he doesn't. Like some of the he kills the dude outside without his mask.
Mm-hmm. Dude, the Truck family. I wanted to think about that. The Truck family pissed me off only because the way the dialogue was written, it implies that Michael has run into this family a couple of times and has decided not to kill them.
It's really out of character.
Yeah, like apparently he just goes about his day walking through their field. They pull up every once in a while, yell at him, tell him to leave. But this time they beat him up and he decided to kill him. It's out of character.
It doesn't seem right. I don't know, man.
Like I tried to figure out if he tried to establish like a motif to his kills, if it was just people who were bullies or if it was just anybody and everybody, and more often than not it was just anybody and everybody. But it always started with bullying, like every time. So
except for a couple like the dad.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, which do you mean, the dad from the first movie or the dad from this movie?
First movie.
Because the dad from the first movie, he was a dick. He was just yelling.
Her Lori's dad.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
He
about
just walks in and fucking murders him.
Mhm.
Okay, and so speaking of murders, the fuckism. How the fuck did he get behind the tree? There's a kill of a cop when he's going to Annie and Lori's house, where the cop walks from the porch to pass the tree. And we see him pass the tree in the camera shot. We never see Mike walk from stage left to the tree, past the tree. He was behind the tree this entire time, because when we see him, because there's light on both sides of this tree, you would see anyone go past it. We see Mikey step from behind the tree, and the cop isn't that far away from the tree, because Mikey takes like 4 steps, maybe 3, and has him in a rope choke. How the fuck do you miss this big ass motherfucker?
He was just a great big beautiful tree.
So, and then this is when I put, how many times is Annie gonna be almost dead until she dies? Question mark. 3 to 4 times? Question mark.
No, seriously, you want to know what my theme was in this movie? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? But I was changing it with
Annie
Lori.
almost died so many times in the first one, and then proceeds to almost die multiple times in this one. It's really fucking annoying. And then I said this, is Ghost Mom fucking real? With multiple question marks.
See, that it is very confusing, because to Lori, who is also now apparently crazy, she is real. But to Malcolm, who doesn't see this, she isn't real. But at the same time, Michael, who's standing right there, sees it and it is real, but he won't do anything about Loomis.
He also sees young self.
Yeah. But
won't
like,
do anything about Loomis until Mama says get him.
Yeah, but he's right there. They're all right in front of each other, all in this room, all screaming at each other, basically. All like 6 of them, if you count the visions.
And then they do one of the most egregious things. When Mikey and Loomis come out the window, right? What do? Mikey rips off his mask and says, I can't remember exactly what it says, but he says something as he stabs Loomis.
But it's the first words he said in like 17 years.
I don't give a fuck. He's not supposed to speak. We're not supposed to see his face this fucking much. And then this movie has the audacity to continue to fuck up with 2 more of the fuckisms.
Okay.
With the fuck. They really, really did Lori like this? Question mark. Because Lori comes out, apparently crazy as shit now, ready to stab Loomis, and then gets shot to death.
Or did she?
I don't fucking care.
No, yeah, because I thought the same thing. I was like, they know they're there to save Lori, so why the hell are they opening fire on her? And it's not just one person, it's like 4 people who shoot at her in the chest. Like, it makes no sense to me. And then
yeah. And then we proceed to listen to this last one. The fuck? Are we really gonna sit here and listen all the way through? Love hurts! But not that version. A slow, boring. I think it's more boring because of the context of the movie, not because of the version of the song. I think the song is beautifully sung in this version of it. And it would be, this is a trailer song in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like a cover of a very popular song sung in a different style to show the way of the movie. And this would have been a great trailer song, in my opinion. Unfortunately, we sit here for the last fucking 3 to 5 minutes listening to it.
Also, while we're listening to it, we see a Lori who's still alive, but now in a mental institution, just in an all-white room. So she might be
An
dead.
ambiguous ending.
She might be alive. We're listening to how love and family is forever. So her relationship with Michael has made her crazy, and they're connected somehow because of family. What?
Love hurts.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you love these movies, good for you.
I mean, someone's got
They're
it.
trash. They're absolutely trash.
I feel like after watching a bunch of these movies again, like we're literally going through my childhood. We're hitting movies that I've seen so many times growing up. And now I'm sitting here wondering, do I actually like horror movies or do I just like spending time with my family watching horror movies?
That's my thing. My mom watched a lot of horror movies, so I would watch them. Or like me and my dad. My dad got me on The Exorcist.
I mean, that's a
If I
good
remember
movie,
correctly.
so.
That's a fantastic movie. Also, Poltergeist is great. There's good horror movies. I'm not going to criticize you for liking horror because there are some fantastic, great horror movies from the past.
Mhm.
This just ain't it, Chief. And I'm not saying, and to clarify, this one wasn't Steven's idea because he liked this movie. I'm the one who suggested these two,
And it's
like an idiot.
and it's
I
you-
went.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go
I was
first.
about to say, you only suggested these because of next week's movies. Because I made a decision. And I was like, this is happening, damn it. And you're like, well, it could lead in with this decision. So,
True, because next week we're doing, Dawn of the Dead, 78 and 2004.
Zombies.
Zombies.
I
So we're
love
getting
zombies.
led in with Rob Zombie into
Mhm.
zombies. So, it made sense. And also, we wanted to, I would like to hit some of the Halloween movies since next year we're going to watch more Halloween movies.
Probably.
If theaters are open and the world's not on fire. Or if it's direct to digital, we'll probably find a way to watch it that way. I'm willing to see it for the rest of that, to see what they do with that one.
I wonder what they're going to call it. Halloween 2? Halloween 3?
Halloween Kills. I believe it's Halloween Kills.
I just think it'd be funny. We have Halloween, and then we have Halloween, then we have Halloween 2, the third movie in the series. Dude, I need to do that. I need to make a comedy movie that does that. I just need to become a famous movie director or writer and write a trilogy, and I'll be set. Just to make this one joke.
It goes the current timeline is going to be Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends.
When is Halloween ends?
It's supposed to be 2022.
So they literally just got rid of all 8 of the other movies?
We got rid of every other version of this. So how the timeline goes of Halloween releases. There's the first timeline, which is Halloween 1 through 6.
I thought,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought it was 1 through 5, and then it was H2O, and then it was...
You missed the Curse of Michael Myers.
Okay.
6th one.
Okay, 6, and then H2O, and then it goes Halloween Resurrection?
Yes. H2O and Resurrection are a different set of the timeline. I can't remember which one's from before. I can't remember if it's 1, 2, 3, or if it's just 1, 2. That would go into Halloween H2O because the whole Laurie and Michael sibling thing is in that one as well. And Resurrection's the sequel to that.
Which unceremoniously kills off Laurie Strode in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yes. And then we get the Rob Zombie ones in 2007, 2009. And then 9 years later, we got Halloween, which I think was a fair sequel to Halloween. Halloween was I think an enjoyable sequel to Halloween. I think he still kills too many people in it, but it is what it is. That's what slashers are today. It's far more tense than what this shit was. And then we're going to get Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Because Halloween Ends was technically supposed to come out next year, and Halloween Kills was supposed to be this year.
Makes sense. It seems like a lot of movies are in 2-year cycles now.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because, I was going to go Halloween Kills this year, and then Halloween Ends next year, because I think they were filming them back to back. Which I'm cool with. Yeah, these two might as well not exist. I'd way rather watch any of the other versions of this fucking franchise than these.
I probably would too at this point. Like I remember watching these for sure, like sitting with my mom and her boyfriend at the time at his
I've
house.
seen the first one.
Like,
I know that.
yeah. So it's strange going back to some of these movies and be like, wow, this kind of sucks.
Sorry, bud.
No, it's okay. That's what adulting is like. You go back to your childhood and you're like, her mouth isn't even moving at the right pace, and she's the bad guy of this whole franchise.
Yeah.
So, anything else we want to talk about in spoilers? I feel like we're done.
Nope. Fuck this movie.
All right, we're heading on to
watch it.
news and wrap up. So we already kind of talked about next week. We're doing the original version of Dawn of the Dead, 1978 or 2?
78.
78, and then the 2002 version.
Or
Okay. I used to have those years memorized because I really like these. I like Romero. He's like one of my idols, oddly enough.
he's done great horror movies, and you really like horror movies, so it's not that odd.
Especially zombies too. Like he has amazing. Like zombies are like the only
Scare
thing that
shit.
still scares me. I don't know what
I
it
don't know
is.
why zombies don't scare me at all.
I don't know
but
what it
also,
is. I guess it's just because it feels too close to home, being around all these mindless people all the time.
Yeah, we have a good last week for this month. I think that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to re-see the 1978 version of Dawn of the Dead, especially
I
because
don't remember the last time I've watched either of these.
I watched both of these on the same night that the last time I watched them because my mom accidentally rented both. So we watched the original and it made me laugh, and then we watched the 2002 version, which started my horror kick.
2004
Horror version, which started my horror kick.
Didn't you watch because there's sequels to these? Weren't you watching a sequel to these?
Yes, I was watching a
night that
Romero horror movie at TwitchCon.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was called, and I remember
it was a Dawn of the Dead sequel, though, if I remember correctly.
And I remember being disappointed by it because it wasn't quite right. It was like new at the time, and it just felt like a newer horror movie because they just didn't have it.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting there with HP.
Yes.
Yeah, we sat there and
Y'all
watched.
got back.
Yeah. Dude, it was so strange thinking about that too, because I was literally watching the movie and I passed out on the couch, and then I wake up to 3 of our friends walking through the front door that I left unlocked for you guys. They're like, "Oh, they told us to meet them here." I was like, "Oh, well, I'm the only one here. Want to finish this movie that I fell asleep watching because I thought it was boring." It's 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
or
because
something.
it was Chance, Brad, and HP that got back, right? First.
Yeah.
For us. And then we got back.
Hmm.
I don't know why we were so much later.
It's okay. They weren't drinking, were they? Because they were all young.
No, yeah, that's why.
One of them was
That's
Mormon.
why they beat us. Yeah, that I remember. That's why they didn't beat us. That's why they beat us. So I'm looking forward to this. I've definitely seen 2004 more than I've seen 78. Because it would be one that like friends would put on at a party.
Mhm.
We'd be hanging out, like not like a party, but it'd be like one of those background movies. I've seen it in the background so many fucking times.
It's probably been on background scenes
'Cause
of
it's
other
the
zombie
one-
movies. Like,
Yes. Well, it's the one. If I remember correctly, it's the one that ends with the credits going, "Oh, ah," right?
yeah.
It has the servant. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Oh, get down with it.
Dude, I don't know why, but when I think of that movie, I for some reason think of that song when they're doing their like, "We've been living in the mall for a little while" montage. And it cuts to all these random moments in the
Oh my
mall.
God.
One of them being
All
a
right,
way
all
too
right, We're
aggressive.
gonna get too far ahead of ourselves. We need to save this for next week.
True. All right.
One thing I will know: our scores are the exact same for Halloween 2 2009 as they are for Dragon Ball Evolution. You gave it a 3.5 as well.
I gave them a sympathy point because, like, they at least tried, I guess, technically.
You can't fucking. I feel like my score makes more sense than yours, but it's still funny as fuck. Because when I go hard into a movie, do I go way harder than you do?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Go ahead.
You are harder on good movies, so you don't give good movies higher scores. I'm more likely to give a high score than you are. But I'm also more likely to give a low score than you are.
Yeah, you're more willing to go with your emotions.
I'm willing to go to the extremes, while you're like, well, on a technical level.
They at least tried technically, so I can't give them 0 points.
Well, I'm over here. Fuck this shit. Burn.
Oh. Yeah.
All right.
Other news. One thing I do want to talk about. I am super excited for a Static Shock movie that's in the works.
Oh my god, dude! I saw the news pop on this. Holy shit!
Like,
Of all the people to get attached to it, Michael B. Jordan.
yeah, the thing that I think is interesting is he's not a talent either. At least as far as we know, he's the producer, and his team is going to be getting the director, the whole studio involved. They're going to be getting the whole set and set up. And I'm excited because Michael B. Jordan is very much a person who understands civil rights and, like, understands that there can be complex characters as well as, like, non-complex characters. Like, your bad guy doesn't have to be the bad guy. He could be a good guy in his own story. Like, so especially because Static Shock has all of these different stories about equality and racism, and, like, I remember, like, I know I'm not the target audience for this kind of show, but, like, I remember seeing an episode where he goes to, like, Africa and he's super happy because he feels like just a normal person, and he's talking to his friends. He's like, I don't feel like I stand out anymore. I just feel like I'm at home. And it's like, and it's so, like, that's not something that like people like us hear or ever really understand, because
We're never going to.
Yeah, this is our home, and we're too poor to travel. So,
well, also, I mean, technically, it wasn't our home. This isn't the podcast for it.
Oh yeah.
That'll be tomorrow's podcast. We'll get more. We can get more into that if we want tomorrow,
dude.
Yeah.
I know it's a last minute request for tomorrow's podcast, but I have a request. I want to see if we can find somebody who has an OnlyFans account, because I have some questions I want to ask. And I know it's a really last minute request.
You're not allowed to say the words on Twitch.
My bad. I don't know this stuff.
I know.
But
I'll talk to you after the show.
Yeah. It's just, the only reason why is because I have questions for the Har Har podcast. None of it controversy related at all. But I have questions, and I feel like somebody who does that kind of stuff is a proper source to ask these questions, rather than my friends who just sit here and watch bad movies with me.
Fuck you.
Hey, I appreciate your input, but this question, which I wrote down so I would remember to ask this, because I think it's a funny question. I think it would make a great conversation tomorrow. So,
all right. Well, we're gonna wrap up for the night then.
But I'm the host. I could say when we wrap up. Did you know?
You piece of shit.
Hang on, there's one thing here.
Hates you so fucking much.
There was one more thing I actually wanted to talk about, and you tried to end my show on me.
You weren't getting to it.
I know. So last thing,
I hate it.
apparently there's a new short film coming out called Once Upon a Snowman. You've probably heard about this, but it's apparently Olaf's unlikely beginnings in Frozen. So, it's a short story coming out on Disney Plus later this month about Olaf. But the way it's described, find out Olaf's unlikely beginnings in this Frozen prequel, makes me wonder, didn't we see his Frozen beginnings? Are they talking about in between movie 1 and 2, or are they talking about like what Olaf saw as he was born and his journey from the ether into being a living being? Because that second one sounds interesting. The first one, not so much.
Well, I guess it would be more the because he wasn't at the he was like there was a fake version of him at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then we run into him in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing
Because Elsa makes him.
it's that. Yeah, it's that.
So while he's running around in the woods before he runs into Anna?
Yeah.
Probably then. All right, so that's it for Critic Casualties. I mean, other things I did want to talk about, like Star Trek, but it's fine. We can end there too.
No, you're good if you want.
Star Trek season 3 of Star Trek Discovery came out on Thursday, and I'm excited to watch that because I've watched season 1 and 2 of Star Trek Discovery. Additionally, Star Trek Picard, the first season, came out to DVD like the very next day, Friday. So I got a lot of Star Trek to watch.
You haven't finished the next gen yet.
No, I finished The Next Generation. I've even watched
did you?
all 5 of
Okay.
the movies.
Okay, never mind. You're good.
Yeah, I got you there.
5 of them.
Yeah, right? I got you there. I've seen all of the Star Trek that
Well,
exists.
last time we talked about it, you didn't.
No, yeah, I hadn't at that time. But at this point, I have seen the only Star Trek that I haven't seen is the later seasons of Enterprise, because I'm working through that right now, and the original series. And I'm not sure we're going to do the original series. Only because like we're already having problems watching some of the older series as is. Like sometimes the network doesn't want to load it, or it doesn't format to the screen properly and it gets annoying. And sometimes the stories are just bad and we can't like I personally just sit there cringing the whole time. Like, oh, why am I watching this? But other times there's some good stuff in there. So I look forward to seeing that Star Trek stuff. All right, now that's it. That's all I've got. That was all the news I had. There's probably more out there that's important somewhere, but like this, AMC offers private movie theater rentings for only $99. So if you want to rent out a whole movie theater or a whole screening to yourself, it's only $100. However, new movies actually cost $150, excluding tax. Said it can cost up to $350 to host a private movie. All right. Oh, yeah, because they're also charging you things for like $100 to use a microphone to address the people who show up. And all right. So, yeah, if you want to have a private screening all to yourself with no one else in the theater and you want to talk to nobody and watch an old movie that you enjoy, $100 plus tax at AMC. Because they want to try and save themselves.
I'd rather just watch it at home.
Yeah, I agree. There's no reason to spend 5 times the amount of one movie ticket to rent out a theater to yourself.
5 times?
If it's
Yeah, you live in California.
yeah, it's like almost $20 to buy a ticket sometimes, depending on the showing.
I get mine for like under 10 for matinee.
But matinees are about $12.
Yikes. Yeah, for me, that's like, because like, let's say if I'm going to a non-matinee, around like 14, 15 for me. So that's like, what? Fucking 6 times?
Mm-hmm.
More than 6 times the amount that I would normally spend on a movie.
But you get to watch this one in a surround sound theater by yourself, which happens sometimes normally for us.
Is it only one movie?
I think it's only one movie.
Okay, then yeah, no, fuck that. Like, if I can have it for an X amount of time.
Oh, no, it's, sorry. A private movie showing program has been added, which allows you and up to 20 other friends to have a theater for themselves for a couple of hours. And you can pick up to...
No, fuck that.
Yeah, it says for a few hours, and customers can pick from a list of 34 movies.
Oh, Jesus, fuck that. If I'm going to do that, I'm renting it out to play games.
No, yeah. I would much rather play games than the movie screen than watch a movie by
Yeah.
itself. Because we get that sometimes. We choose dumb movies that no one wants to see, and then we get a whole movie theater to ourselves. It's happened in this show for me a good handful of times.
Multiple times for me.
So like, I'm not gonna spend $100 on that.
Hell no.
I remember,
Fuck that.
dude. I remember once I bought a ticket to a movie, literally like last minute, and I'm so thankful that I did because they were about to transition that theater from the screening to another movie because no one bought that movie. So they're like, we're just going to add an extra screening for Star Wars or something. And I was like, I'm here. I want to watch the movie. And they're like, all right, here you go. I guess we won't make extra money.
Fuck you, capitalist machine.
Basically.
You're just over there like, fuck you, throwing rent.
That'd be nice. Oh, we can also talk about The Mandalorian Season 2 if you want, but...
I'd rather wait till we see it.
All right, then I'm done. I got nothing else to talk about.
All right, Red.
All right, so yeah, we'll see you guys next week for some brain eating goodness. Tasty brain. And so until then, bye everyone.
Bye. The fuck is...
Couldn't even add a sound effect using your soundboard? Like
I wasn't ready for zombies.
Fine.